My name is Harper, and today I want to tell you the story of a man who loved me long before I ever noticed him. A story I didn't understand at first, a story I almost destroyed, and a story that completely changed the way I see love. I wasn't looking for love. I wasn't even open to it. But sometimes love finds you in the quietest ways. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. Nothing special, nothing wild, just simple, quiet life. But my heart, it wasn't quiet. Not after what happened. I was in a relationship for years. I loved him more than I should have, and he hurt me more than I could handle. He cheated, he lied, he made me believe that I wasn't enough for anyone. So I built a wall, brick by brick, and told myself, never again. I met Noah at a friend's barbecue. I wasn't planning to stay long. Crowds made me uncomfortable, and honestly, I didn't trust anyone anymore. But he was standing near the grill, quiet, calm, flipping burgers like the whole party wasn't happening around him. We made eye contact, and he smiled in a way that didn't feel forced, didn't feel fake. It felt soft, familiar, safe. He walked over and said, "You look like you want to leave." I laughed for the first time in months. Is it that obvious? He nodded. Yeah, I hate parties too. And somehow, that tiny moment opened a tiny door in my heart. We exchanged numbers that day, not because we flirted, but because it just felt natural. We became friends slowly. Midnight conversations, long texts, stupid jokes, shared playlists, coffee every Sunday, movies we never finished. He made me feel seen without ever making me feel exposed. Noah never asked about my past, never pushed, never rushed. He just showed up every single time. One night, my ex texted me, "I miss you." My whole world collapsed in seconds. I couldn't breathe, my hands were shaking, my chest hurt. I didn't know who to call, but my fingers somehow dialed Noah. He answered on the first ring. "Harper, talk to me." I whispered, "I'm not okay." He drove straight to my apartment. He brought food, tissues, and a blanket. He sat with me on the floor while I cried harder than I had in a year. He didn't touch me. He didn't ask questions. He didn't tell me to move on. He just stayed, quiet, present, warm. And then he whispered, "You don't have to go back to the pain you survived." In that moment, I felt something shift inside me. In the weeks after that night, I started noticing things. How he remembered every detail I said. How he always walked on the outside of the sidewalk. How he listened without interrupting. How he checked in on me, but never suffocated me. One day I asked, "Why are you always so nice to me?" He smiled and said, "Because you deserve it." I didn't say it out loud, but my heart whispered, "Does he love me?" One rainy night, we were driving home. Soft music playing, street lights glowing on the wet roads, and for the first time, I felt safe. I looked out the window and asked, "Noah, why do you always stay?" The car went silent. He pulled over to the side of the road. He took a deep breath, turned toward me, and said, "Because I loved you long before you ever noticed me." My heart stopped. He loved me? For how long? Why? I whispered, "Why didn't you ever tell me?" He looked down and said, "Because you weren't ready, and I didn't want to break you more than life already had." I felt tears in my eyes. No one had ever loved me like that. And like any scared girl, I panicked. I told him, "I can't do this. I need space." He didn't fight me. He didn't beg. He didn't get angry. He simply said, "I'll wait." And then he walked away. For a week, I didn't see him, didn't hear from him, didn't know if he was okay. But every night, my heart felt heavier, not because I wasn't loved, but because I missed him. One night, I went to the rooftop of my building. Cold wind, dark sky, tears running down my face, and suddenly I realized something powerful. I didn't miss being loved. I missed him. Noah, his calm, his voice, his presence, his kindness, his patience. I grabbed my phone and with shaking hands, I typed, "Are you awake?" 2 minutes later, I'm downstairs. My whole body froze. I ran downstairs, and there he was, standing in the cold, hands in his pockets, eyes soft, like he already knew why I was there. I whispered, "I'm sorry." He shook his head. "Harper, you don't owe me that." I said, "I'm scared." He stepped closer, looked into my eyes, and said, "Then let me be the one you don't have to be scared of." I broke down in his arms, and for the first time, love didn't feel dangerous. It felt right, safe, real. Today, I'm with Noah, not because he confessed first, but because he waited while I found myself. He didn't save me. He stayed. He loved me quietly for months before I ever saw it. And that's the story of the night I finally realized he loved me long before I loved him back.